Vietnam vets, accept no substitute.
And so for myself, speaking for myself, you know, I think it was, you know, disgusting to see this great army, you know, dropping napalm on, you know, a few old men who they couldn't get out with 200 troops out of a little cave, you know. It seemed a shame to see people throwing away ammunition worth thousands of dollars and just so they could requisition more. It seemed a shame that they would even, you know, run helicopters that cost thousands of dollars to run an hour, that I could run for 20 kids, 30 kids in 1 year that cost the same price. So it costs to run one of those helicopters for a day, you know. It's definitely a shame to see that they're trying to do it again in El Salvador. In South America is a very volatile place, and if they intend to send Latinos down there to fight against other Latinos, they're going to be running into the problem that did in Vietnam a lot sooner.
In the Latino community, were you reabsorbed rapidly, slowly? Could you tell us a little bit about that? As an Anglo, I know I feel very alienated. How are things in your community?
Well, okay, like, you know, I myself, you know, lived in Milwaukee since, you know, I was 5 years old, so I was pretty much like, you know, participated in the Anglo community before I went to Vietnam, and I had a lot of Anglo friends. But into the Latin community, when we came back, you know, like, they treated us always, you know, like as men, you know, who had participated in the war, who'd proven their machismo, who had, you know, learned that, you know, there was a heavy price to pay for freedom, as it was always expressed to us, you know, the price of freedom had to be paid for the jobs that we got. My family was very, very receptive to me. They loved me, respected me, and accepted me regardless of what happened or who or what anybody felt. In our community, you know, I think that our first regard to our people is love and respect, you know, and after that, then we could deal with the issues. But we weren't alienated by our own people, you know. We're definitely just very misunderstood. As I said, you know, we've served in all the wars in the United States and even one against the United States, but like the thing is that in our service we have given our blood, sweat, and tears, you know, disproportionately to our population. We have been highly decorated for our service, and yet, you know, we're still struggling as second-class citizens. We're just now becoming to be active in the role as veterans, even within our own community.
What could you tell us about that delay? Why has it been so long for the Latino veteran to actualize?
Well, I guess after Vietnam, we felt that, you know, we didn't really want to ask nobody for nothing. We had done what we had to do, and like we were pretty disillusioned, very, very disgusted with the war itself. You know, we kind of, I guess, we didn't want nothing to do with the VA. The VA was administrative bureaucracy that was part of the service, and we want nothing to do with the service. We did take from time to time treatment of different and various kinds, but nothing to the point where we claim heavy benefits for anything. It was just, you know, maybe dentistry, some other minor thing, but definitely on drugs and alcohol. You know, if it wasn't, we went to community-based agencies before we went to the VA, because at VA there was really not that many people who you could talk to. Within the VA there's the bureaucracy, and is not set up or geared to deal with us, you know, in many ways, especially like the cultural boundaries, you know, the language boundaries.
Hopefully after some of the expressions of Dewey Canyon 4 are made, the VA might change its attitude. Thanks a lot for taking the time to talk to us.
I think that these folks got to start listening to us, and I guess the main reason I came down here is because a friend of mine just died last year, and he thought it was in association with Agent Orange, and I'm tired of hearing about studying to do a study. They got to start dealing with these guys, and you know, I'm glad. I think that it's good for all of us from all over the country to get together every once in a while and check out what each other's doing and learn from one another. And I hope these bastards listen to us.
Yeah, Reed Holt. I've been with the Minneapolis chapter for about 4 years, and I got married and moved to San Antonio, where we're working with the Alamo boys real hard. We got up here yesterday afternoon. It was a straight shot all the way through, and suffered a little from truck leg, but because of getting here, and I'm seeing some faces I haven't seen in a couple of years, and I'm finding some attitudes that are ID with mine. I'm feeling at this point, and looking forward to the activities.
There's a lot of comfort in veteran unity. What kind of input are you going to supply to the Dewey Canyon 4 operation?
Well, I'm going to go from double experience here. One, of course, being a veteran. Number two, for the past 4 years, I've been working in all phases of Agent Orange. It's the classical American system of routes you take to redress your grievances, and I certainly got some grievances, and I got some brothers out there that got them more, and I'm proxying that for them today because they couldn't come. I've worn in three-piece suits, and I've gone to state houses and senates, and I've lobbied. I've gone for citizens who've helped co-author legislation. We've involved ourselves in the lawsuit, and we know more about the science than the scientists do. We supply data. We've tried initiating. We're going to try and resolve this thing. And after 4 years, and after spending a whole lot of time, most of that being full, I'm finding out that a get-together like this, to go out and tell the people how we feel and why we feel, is the end result. We don't have anything from all the time spent on Agent Orange. I don't feel any better. I don't see hospitals doing anything different. They talk different, but they're doing the same thing. Dewey Canyon 4 is going to be a get-together where we're going to go out there and we're going to tell them, just like Dewey Canyon 3, I'm convinced, brought the war to an end, pulled divisions out. Dewey Canyon 4 is a last step result. We've tried everything else, nothing worked, so here we are.
Thank you very much. Could you share some thoughts with us, please, then, on the Vietnam Veterans Memorial?
Well, I'm going to go plan on taking a look at it. It's what I saw on the TV, and when they turned that on, and I was sitting at home in San Antonio, and I had a sore stomach that night, I saw people with spades in their hands, and people that I'm used to dealing with in the past on Agent Orange, and I remember a lot of those people as not being real adequate in it for something besides vets.
You're talking about the luminaries that were participating in the groundbreaking?
Yes, some of those people. Some, I'm sure, are good, sincere, honest brothers. But some of those people I just have worked with, and I've learned to distrust them.
As a person, then, how are you holding up in the struggle? It sounds like you've been extraordinarily busy.
Strong, if not stronger than they do. I think the support base out there is pretty fantastic.
That's one of the main purposes of DC-4 is to bring in as many vets as possible together. Were there any economic considerations in your contingents getting to DC-4?
Oh, yeah. We bombed out. We had a fundraiser and had to give all our money to the people who rented us the building. I started hitting the booze quite a bit after that. I lost no hope. I've been building for this for a year and a half since we first got word. I toured the country this summer spreading the word to vet centers all over, from Denver to Philly to Winnipeg to South Texas. And when word came that we may not be able to make it, I started packing my ruck. I was going to throw my thumb out and hitchhike up here at any cost. If it took $5, I've done that before. It was no big loss, but we wanted to see a unified chapter come up here, and each one of them has specific concerns we wanted them to put out to the national organization. And sure enough, our attitude brought money in. No time, we're up here. We pay for gas, going and coming, and we're eating.
God love you, brother. Thanks a lot. Good to see you. Cut. Excuse me, folks. Could I ask you to turn or walk around the mall, taking some interviews here on some participants at Dewey Canyon 4? I'd like to get your comments. Hi. Would you introduce yourself, please, and tell us a little bit about your impressions of DC-4?
Oh, my name is Suki, and I'm the Agent Orange Outreach Coordinator for the Madison chapter of VVAW. And my impressions